All right, we're back. Man, pain. Okay, Perkins dumps it off. And we got Otis Anderson Jr., who's going to take that, and he's going to take it for about 7 or 8 yards there on the dump off. So, Otis Anderson Jr. on that. Hand it off. Otis Anderson there. And that's going to be 3rd and 3. They're really giving me a hard time, aren't they? Oh, man. I hate connection issues. Looks like we're good now. This is a huge one here. Rams trying to get over midfield, 3rd and 2. Let's see what Perkins can do. He fires. He finds Tutu Atwell on the slant for a 1st down, and that has become his favorite target throughout preseason. Perkins going down the field, and oh, it's incomplete. Atwell dropped it. It wasn't the best throw. Perkins had a lot of mustard on it, but Atwell looked like he kind of slipped, and it falls incomplete. You do like to see Perkins testing deep down the field, though. Okay. So this is at the 44-yard line. Perkins in the gun. Has Otis Anderson Jr. next to him fighting for a spot. He's going to take the screen. Otis Anderson takes it 5 to about an 8-yard gain there. So he's showing what he can do early on. Yes, we have 4 parts. I'm sorry about that, buddy. Trying to make the show must go on, right? The show must go on. Can't stress that enough. So we're trying our best to keep it going. It is a pain that, you know, we have to do that. So rolling out to the right, and Perkins tries to stretch, and he's not going to get it. It's 3rd and 2, now going to be 4th and 2, and the Rams they have a decision to make here. Do you kick the field goal? Or do you try to go for it? So it's 17-12 here, 8:37 and counting. The Rams line up. Under center is Bryce Perkins. Man in motion is Atwell. And they snap the ball. They hand it off. This is an opportunity here. And I don't know if Otis Anderson got that. I don't know if he got it. The spot is going to be interesting here. But I don't know if he got the 1st down. So they're going to say he didn't get it, and that's going to be no field goal there. The Rams could have gone down 17-15 with 8:24 left to go, and instead It's a turnover on downs. I didn't like the play call. Felt like they really should have utilized Perkins' speed. You know, we've already seen it. Perkins either doing a bootleg to the outside. I don't think handing it off there made any sense. But that's what they decided to do. So the Broncos are going to get the ball here. 8:24 to go. They feel confident in their defense. I mean, I just would have called a better play personally. Thank you for following. Appreciate you following over on, it looks like Twitch. Let's see. The link to the game. I got it. 1 second. I like that we can just boot right back up, and we do have 22 people already. I know it takes a little bit, but I do appreciate it, guys. I don't like the play call, though. I gotta say, really, really don't like that. Did not like the play call there. Yeah, it does feel that way. It just doesn't make any sense. Unless you're trying to, I don't know, are you putting, is Otis Anderson being tested there? Like, I don't know what's going on, so. No, you're welcome, RV. Sorry you were having issues. I just man, it's frustrating. You never know when that stuff's going to happen, but I can tell you right now, I can stream on ultra low latency when I'm not streaming another game. The problem is I was hoping this game would be on TV. It is not until 1 a.m. Eastern time or 1 p.m. I don't remember what they said. But I, unfortunately, since I have to stream it on, on my network, I also have to stream on my network doing this. So the watch party gets kind of thrown off, and I have to go on low latency, and even I still sometimes have problems. Ooh, nice. That was a nice, unfortunately, they get about 5 on that play. Unreal. Ernest Brown, the speed, getting the pressure, batting the pass, and unfortunately, DeMornay Pearson-L makes the catch, breaks about 2 tackles, and gets about 5 on that. So, yeah, he has not been very good. Crockett gets the carry, was brought down with a combination of Roseboom and John Daka. I'm going to get a 3rd and very short. Well, here's the thing, though, Thomas, is that I don't think the Rams plan on using Jacob Harris the way they have been in the red zone. I think they're very non-committal to his role. They went for it, and see, when you get turned like that, it's easy to not get the first down because you're not able to even get, in sight of the referee seeing the ball crossing the first down marker. The yard line, of course. The first down isn't actually on the field, but we'll see what they do. There's 2 focused on zooming in on Javonte Williams' back right now to So 6:51. The game is stopped here. I don't think they're going to tell us what happened. Bobby Brown's down. I cannot see. Okay, it's not Bobby Brown. Looks like it's Marquise Copeland who is injured. The broadcast is saying it's 93, which is Marquise Copeland. It was 95. I don't know why they're saying 93 then. Very odd, to say the least. So, guys, keep it right here for after the game. I'm going to do my post-game. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this game, my immediate reaction, takeaway, what have you. And then I will end up clipping that video, so if you do have to leave, you'll see it. Then I'll have the 53-man roster, have podcasts, you know how we do it. That is going to be handed off and brought down immediately. John Daka with the nice play behind the line of scrimmage on Stevie Scott, the ball carrier there. 6:30 and counting left to go. The Broncos have a chance to really run this clock down and end this game. Put this game out of reach. It's now 2nd and 11 here. We have Ernest Brown off the edge. John Daka on the other side. And there is another nice stop there on Stevie Scott. And it's going to be 3rd and long coming up. Michael Hoyt. So it's 3rd and 11 here. They're running down this clock. We'll see what they do. They're 5 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. The Rams are 3 of 12. Nice stunt from Ernest Brown, forcing the errant throw, and that could have been picked. Just not a very good throw. Ernest Brown with a nice stunt there, getting inside, hitting Brett Rippon there. And it's going to be 4th and 11. Score is 17-12. The Broncos lead. Sam Martin coming out to punt it. Martin punts it away, and it's to Tutu Atwell with a lot of space. Flag is already down, though. Atwell makes a cut, makes another cut, and is wrestled down to the ground at about the 12-yard line with just over 5 minutes left to go. It's probably going to be on the Rams, though. So, hands to the face on Kareem Orr is going to push the Rams back. It's half the distance to the goal, of course, but it's going to be about the 5 or 6 yard line. Not ideal for the Rams to start that off. I think Ernest Jones is absolutely making the team. Ernest Brown, I think he'll make the team, but not absolutely, of course. But you do like to see the size factor there. Nice throw, taking what the defense gives him, trying to just get out of the end zone there. Thrown to Kendall Blanton for a 4-yard gain. And we'll see how this goes with the Rams. But the clock is under 5 minutes here, so it's going to stop when they go out of bounds. We're in that time now. Under center is Bryce Perkins. It's 2nd and 3. And he's going to fake, roll it out against his body. He's going to throw this, and it's incomplete because it was thrown directly at Kendall Blanton, and a rare drop. It's going to make this a tough call here. Now 3rd and manageable. But not what you want to see. Blanton should have had that. That was an easy grab. Perkins put it right where it needed to be. And it was clearly a first down. I wouldn't say it's garbage time. This is important for Bryce Perkins. You know, you're trying to win the preseason game. You're trying to win your second start. Your first legitimately planned start. 3rd and 3 here for the Rams. Perkins in the gun. We have 3 wide, 2-2 on the outside. Koski in the slot. And it is incomplete. Koski was blanketed, and Perkins threw it. It was tipped away. 4th and 3. And not really sure what the Rams can do here. If they're trying to win this game, they still probably have to punt it away. Defense has played well. You're against your own end zone. Boho is probably going to come back. He's a weapon. And, you know, Boho, to me, is probably your player of the game. Because he has done just an incredible job. 2 punts at the 1-yard line. I mean, all 3 were, or 3 out of 4 at least, were inside the 20. This is not his best punt. It's still a very good punt. And the Rams are giving up a lot of ground there, but they're able to come back. And a nice play by Jake Gervais on the coverage team. 53-yard punt from Boho. Not the best, obviously, but not the worst. It's going to be 2nd and I believe 4 there. Second and 5. We'll see if the Rams can get the ball back here, but the Broncos have a chance to pretty much end this one, which would be a disappointing ending to the Rams preseason. You'd like to end it strong. You definitely like to end it with Perkins being able to show you a little bit more what he can do. Last week he showed you a lot more. But this is a road game, keep in mind. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Nice job by the defense diagnosing. You have Donovan Alumba making the play, as well as Christian Roseboom, who's had himself a great game. You talk about Roseboom downing a punt at the 1-yard line, huge there. And then, of course, coming away with that interception on the batted pass. So, you know, Christian Roseboom doing everything he can to make this 53-man roster. We will see if it's enough. As you guys probably know, or if you don't know, the roster has to be cut down to 53 by 4 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. Well, the night's not over yet, but Perkins, I think, has had some, you know, he's had some ups and he's had some downs, and, you know, that happens, of course. Wasn't his best performance, though. We'll just say that. I think you've seen some good things from him throughout preseason. The thing that you continue not to see is him testing deep down the field. You know, taking the deep ball, going over the top. And the Broncos on the end around are not going to get it. John Daka made a great play. The ball might have come out, although it looks like it was already down. But the official is going to say the Rams have the ball here. So we'll watch this again, but I don't think he was. I think he was down. Tyree Cleveland. Oh, that's a close one. We'll see. Did J.R. Reed punch this out before the knee comes down? And no, he did not, but it was a great punch out by J.R. Reed nonetheless. His knee is down. But that's a great punch out by J.R. Reed. And you love the wherewithal you see from Eric Banks there to go down and pick that ball up. Hop on it. Yeah, it's not going to be ruled a fumble, I can tell you that. His knee is clearly down, but again, I got to give J.R. Reed a shout out there. I mean, that is a great punch out. That is the peanut punch. You want to see everybody using that on the defense while you're wrapping up, too. Keep in mind, he's trying to make a tackle here as well. He's not just trying to punch the ball out. He's trying to at least secure the tackle on top of it. He punches the ball out. It's a little late, but I like the effort there. Good pursuit and tackle by Daka. Yeah, Daka was right on it as well. Daka gets the tackle because his knee was already down. So that's another thing. You know, it's one of those things where it won't show up in the stat sheet. You don't get almost fumbles. But that's where the tape doesn't lie. And you see J.R. Reed constantly standing out. Yeah, the team does look deep. I mean, these guys can play. This defense looks really good, honestly. Yep, so, I mean, that was obvious. I don't know why it took him that long to see that the guy's knee was down. So 3:08 will be on the game clock here, and that's going to be 4th down. So Sam Martin's going to punt it. The reason it was such a big deal is the Rams would have had it in great territory here. So now 3:08 is going to be left here. Sam Martin will punt this away to Tutu Atwell, who he's played every snap. They are wasting no time trying to get him acclimated to the NFL speed and, of course, the punishment. And this is going to be Bryce Perkins' last shot. Can he put together some Perkins magic and try and win this game? Last week he fell short. This week, if you score a touchdown, you're going to win this game 18-17. Not even having to worry for 2 points. So here it is, punted away. Martin. And Tutu is just going to wave his hand in the air, call for the fair catch at 2:37 left to go as they really rolled that clock down. So it's practically a 2-minute offense now, 2-minute drill for Bryce Perkins. Let's see what he can do. Nearly having to go the full length of the field. Maybe use some no huddle. We'll see. I'm excited to see it, though. So we'll see here now. Shotgun formation at the 12-yard line. Bryce Perkins will take the Rams offense. Takes the snap. Fires, and it's incomplete. He throws to the feet of Xavier Jones. 2nd and 10 in the gun. Going down the field. Strike is connected to Tutu Atwell over the middle to the 29-yard line. This is great situational practice. You're absolutely right, Paul. You know, you want to see what can Perkins respond. I thought he responded well coming out of the half. You know, didn't have his best half. He knows that. Came out. Perkins being chased, throws it, sideline, and he's out of bounds. But Atwell tried to toe drag that. Was very close to being a catch. But there's a flag on the play, and I have a feeling this is going to be... Oh, it's a hold. And it is on number 68, Alaric Jackson, the left tackle out of Iowa. That hurts. Those penalties absolutely can be killer. So 2:05 left to go. It is a first down, but it's now 1st and 20, so it pushes your distance, of course, backwards. Perkins in the gun, 4 wide. Xavier Jones is the running back. Perkins in the gun, 3-step drop, dumps it off to Jones. Jones makes a man miss, breaks out of the tackle, and almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage. And he is shaken up. Jones is in pain. He's crawling to the sidelines, and he is in pain. He is feeling it in his, honestly, right around his back of his ankle. So I hope he's okay. Jones has played the majority of this game, aside from a few snaps that they gave to Otis Anderson. Xavier Jones has been in there the entire game, and I think that says more about maybe Jake Funk became the number 3 back, and Jones fell to number 4 when they got Sony Michel. Maybe they weren't as high on Jones as everyone thought. We'll see, though. That would be killer, though. I hope he's not hurt. I like the guy a lot. I mean, I think it was really good to see, you know, Terrell Lewis playing as well, you know, in this game. Terrell Lewis he flashed in this one. I mean, he was in the backfield a lot, making a lot of plays, adding a lot of pressure. Good to see him, obviously, because this is like, you know, he has not really practiced. I think he just got back to practice, so. Victor Green for the Steelers? I'm not sure. You'd have to ask my cousin. He's a huge Steelers fan. Covers the Steelers over at Adam Steele, his YouTube. You could find that on my channel, but you'd have to ask him. You can find him over at Renegade Adam on Twitter. I'm sure he could tell you. I make it my mission to watch every NFL game, but every NFL preseason game just makes it it's way too hard for me to follow. Oh, I hate 2-minute warnings. Oh, I hate these commercials. Okay, I thought they were turning off the game. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? All right. So we'll see. Perkins in the gun here. Otis Anderson is in. Xavier Jones is out. He was injured on the last play. 2nd 11. Perkins feels the pressure. Tries to step up. He's engulfed and sacked. Marquis Spencer brings him down. Number 51 for the Broncos. And there's a flag here. I think it's going to be holding and declined. Oh, defensive holding. So an automatic first down for the Rams, and well, they're still cooking. Bobby Evans is actually in at right tackle, if you guys didn't notice. And that one's falling incomplete there. Nothing doing. Thank you for subscribing, Amy. Appreciate you. Got us at 1,490 subs, so we're getting closer to 6,500. So here we go, 2nd and 10. We got 4 wide, and we do actually see Jacob Harris out there at the tight end position. Perkins, Otis in the backfield. Perkins going deep. He's testing the deep ball, and he went to Tristan Jackson, but he had Kari Vincent Jr. all over him. It's going to be 3rd and 10 here. I like that they tested the deep ball. Vincent hooked the back, but no flag, and it's going to be 3rd and 10. Anybody that thinks Perkins doesn't have an arm, he has one. It might have been better using that to Tutu. 3rd and 10. He has to run for his life being chased. Perkins is going to get the first down and more. Pushed down at the 50. And is Perkins' magic still in the works? Well, he's pushed out by Jamar Johnson, the draft pick from Indiana. And there's 1:30 left to go. Perkins has gone from the 12-yard line, brought him down to midfield. We'll see what they can do here. 17-12 Broncos. And I cannot see who that is. Kari Vincent Jr. from LSU is down. He was the one on the coverage with the Tristan Jackson deep bomb. So this is going to be a free timeout for the Rams. I think they're going to have to call an injury timeout. He can't get off the field. What's up, Aiden? How we doing? Better late than never, right? Yeah, Kari Vincent looks, he's walking off now on his own power. I don't know what happened. But it's 1st and 10. Bryce Perkins is leading another drive. Can he come back? Can he complete this comeback? Last week he led a drive down the field on 4th and 5. He converted. And then he threw a touchdown to Jacob Harris, and then could not get to Jacob Harris for the 2-point conversion, and they fell short against the Raiders. Now this one, 1st and 10 here. Perkins in the gun. Let's see what he can do. Evans at right tackle. Ooh, nice throw there. He's going to find Tristan Jackson for the first down and more. So 1st and 10, 1:24 left to go. Some nice management from Bryce Perkins. And a nice throw to the sideline there to former Syracuse UDFA Tristan Jackson. who I think is going to make this roster, and he made it last year, albeit he didn't play much. He didn't actually play at all, I don't believe. Otis Anderson Jr. still in. We have not seen Xavier Jones. 4 wide. Perkins in the gun. Gets the snap. He gets some pressure. Tries to move up, and he is again engulfed. He holds on to the ball, though. McTelvin Ajim is right there. Former third-round pick out of Arkansas. Is able to bring down Perkins. Timeout was called by the Rams. It's 1:17 to go here. Second down. It's a huge test for Bryce Perkins. Looks like Jacob Harris is on the outside. Top of the screen, 2nd and 21. Got Tutu in the slot. They're 5 wide here. Perkins, he's going to throw it to Tutu Atwell. Another violent tackle there. Perkins going no huddle here, trying to get everyone lined up. Now under a minute, taking a lot of time here to get lined up. 54 and counting. Perkins in the gun. 3rd and long. Perkins fires. He completes it, and it's to Tristan Jackson here, trying to down it here. Perkins trying to get everyone lined up. 40 seconds and counting. They're going to need a touchdown. Field goal will not win this game. 17-12 is the score for the Broncos, taking a lot of time here. And they run a play. 4th. And they're going to call a timeout. No, they don't have a timeout. So they're trying to down it. 19, 18, 17, spiking. And they're down 16 seconds at the 22-yard line, and this is coming down to the wire. I'm not very good at commentary, but I'm trying my best, man. There's a lot going on, so I'm trying. It was so much going on, and I'm not practiced in this. This is all home practice. So, 16 seconds to go. 2nd and 10. Broncos just called the timeout. Yeah, I don't know if that's on Perkins or what, but I really don't feel like they should have tried. They should have used their timeout later. They used it way too early, in my opinion. So they didn't really have one, and they had to go up to the line. And I mean, these guys got to get up to the line, man. This is your job. Tristan Jackson was kind of gingerly getting up. Now, I don't know if he's hurt or not, but you want to see more than that. Perkins trying to get everyone in the line, and these guys are just, there has to be more sense of urgency, in my opinion. So 4 wide, you have Otis Anderson in the gun with Perkins. 2nd down and 10. 15 seconds to go. Going for the end zone here, and it is swatted away by Jamar Johnson. He was looking for Tristan Jackson. It's 10 seconds to go. 3rd and 10. Ball was in the end zone, and it was thrown into double coverage there. So 3rd and 10. And the Broncos are going to call a timeout here with 10 seconds to go. 3rd and 10. 20 at the 22-yard line here. Perkins is Sean McVay is getting his guys together. You can see he's really into this. So I can't show the screen. It would get copyright struck. McVay trying to get everyone together. Clearly this means a lot to him. And this means a lot. This is the most we've had on a stream. This is a stream that started from scratch once again. This is the 4th one that we've done, part 4. We've had all sorts of connection issues. 4 wide here. Got Otis Anderson, the running back. Perkins, 3rd and 10. 10 seconds to go. Pressure comes. There's a flag, and it's going to be a false start. Now, so that would have been a 10-second runoff. Had the clock been running, the game would be over. Bobby Evans, false start. So 3rd and 15 here. Ball at the 27-yard line. Perkins back to pass. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Going deep down the field, and no one is there. Incomplete. 4 seconds. 4th and 15. Yeah, I think Harris ran the wrong route there. I think Perkins threw it where it needed to be, trying to give Harris an opportunity. Big play against the 5'10 P.J. Locke over the middle. Totally missed him. 4th and 15. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Deep down the field. It is to incomplete. It was to Jacob Harris, and it's thrown out of the back of the end zone. Broncos are going to win. Rams fall to 0-3 on the preseason. And that's going to do it. But, hey, an exciting finish. Broncos actually end up going 3-0 on the preseason. Thought Bryce Perkins is definitely going to want that throw back, but that is your final. That's the end of preseason. The next time you'll see the Rams will be at SoFi Stadium on Sunday Night Football against the Bears. And that does it. Bummer. So the final 17-12 Broncos win. Bryce Perkins goes 23 of 42, 201 yards, 4.8 is his average per completion. He was sacked twice for 19 yards, had a passer rating of 67.7. Bryce Perkins also added 9 carries for 50 yards, including a 20-yard scamper. Xavier Jones went 3.4 yards per carry on 13 carries for 44 yards. Otis Anderson added 10 yards on 3 carries. The leading receiver today was Tutu Atwell. He caught 8 of 12 balls thrown at his way. 62 yards was the total for him, including a 16 for his longest of the day. Tristan Jackson caught 3 passes for 48. Kendall Blanton, 3 passes for 30. Xavier Jones, 3 passes for 20. Bryson Hopkins, 2 passes for 16. Otis Anderson, 2 passes for 16. J.J. Koski, 1 for 5. And Jeremiah Haydell, 1 for 4. Jacob Harris was targeted 3 times but came down with no completions. Unfortunately, this is the end of the preseason game, but I do have my post-game show, so to speak. I will be clipping this, so if you do, you have to go, I get it. But I'm going to be talking. So let's just talk about it, right? Okay? Just let's take away from what can we take away from this game? Well, so this is the final preseason game. We're going to see in 48 hours guys that get cut, guys that become available. It's going to be madness. It's honestly really sad. As somebody that interviews a lot of these players, it is the name of the game. It's the name of the business, but it doesn't make it any less hard, especially guys that I've interviewed, seeing them having to go through that. losing your job like that, it's tough. Let's go through it, right? Quarterback, Bryce Perkins had his worst game of preseason. I think we can all agree with that. Didn't really ever get truly into a rhythm, had some moments, but all in all, you would have liked to see more on the road. I think he showed you that he is a QB3, though. Anybody thinking that, he can't play in this league, he can't be a QB3, can't make the 53-man roster, that's a 53-man roster quarterback. He's just not your starter. He's not there yet. More development. But you can't risk losing him. I think he offers some huge upside, and that escapability is not coachable. That speed is not coachable. And the fact that he has his head on a swivel, he's always making his reads, he's always looking, he feels pressure, things that simply QB1 last year didn't in Jared Goff. So to me, I don't think that you can cut Bryce Perkins. I know people are going to look at this game and say there's no way the Rams keep him. Bryce Perkins either won the job earlier or he didn't win the job before this game, and they were showcasing what he could do. Because, that is what it comes down to. Bryce Perkins already won the job or he didn't. I think he won the job. I think he won it through practice. I think he won it through his preparation. I think he's going to make the 53. Now, you look at the running back spot. Xavier Jones playing the entire game and then getting hurt. We'll have to wait for a status update on that. But that, in my opinion, locks up Jake Funk. They would not have not played Jake Funk if he wasn't going to make the team. So Jake Funk, I'm going to give a thumbs up to. He's going to make the roster. So those are your three running backs: Darrell Henderson, Sony Michel, Jake Funk. I think Xavier Jones might have been on the bubble more than I expected, especially with the addition of Sony Michel. So I think with him playing the majority of the game and depending on his injury, he might actually get cut. I think he could make it through waivers because he didn't have a great preseason. Otis Anderson Jr. is also an interesting one. I thought he showed some flashes there, albeit didn't get a ton of opportunity. But when you look at what he can do, the UDFA at UCF, you have to like some of the things that he can do, especially in the return game, which they didn't really, check out. I think he makes sense in an expanded practice squad setting. I definitely think you could keep Otis Anderson. Looking at the receivers, I think with no reps today, you can pretty much guarantee that a guy like Landon Akers is not going to get claimed. I think Landon Akers is going to end up on the Rams practice squad. He's a guy I like a lot and stood out last week, but it does tell me that they were maybe trying to kind of hide him, and they like him. J.J. Koski really didn't do much of anything, catching one pass today. To me, J.J. Koski, the only team you have to really worry about is a team that had a coach on the roster last year with the Rams that's now with the Seahawks. You know where I'm going with this. Shane Waldron, he obviously was around Koski last year during the offseason and during training camp and all of that. So he's seen Koski. He was on the practice squad. We'll see if Koski makes the roster or not. I don't think he's going to make the 53. I do think he's going to get cut. We'll see if he makes the practice squad or if some other team claims him. If that does happen, it would be Seattle because they did just lose John Ursua, their former draft pick from Hawaii. But then furthermore, you look at the receivers. Jeremiah Haydell had his best performance of preseason. Now, I don't know what he was doing in training camp. I don't know how good of a camp he had. I really didn't hear much of him. I know he was working in the return game. He stood out in the kick return game. They didn't use Tutu Atwell there. They don't have a kick returner as of right now. Raymond Clay went down. That's the only guy that's returned kicks since Raymond Clay went down. So by virtue, he might end up being the return man. And if that's the case, then they'll keep Jeremiah Haydell. Another guy, Tristan Jackson, UDFA out of Syracuse, almost had a big play down the stretch in this game. And, he caught, 6 balls for 40-something yards. It was 3 for 48. So he's had a touchdown. He's shown what he can do. He's already been on the 53-man roster last year with no preseason. So the Rams already really like him. He had a great camp by all accounts. Reminds me very similarly of Josh Reynolds, a former Ram that was on the roster. So I feel really good about saying that Tristan Jackson has made the 53. I think they're going to keep 6. I think Ben Skoranek is going to be waived injured, and the hope is that he'll come back and go on IR. And probably won't play this season because of the broken forearm, but we'll see if they try to sneak him on and, keep him. So that way, once he makes it on, to the week 1 setting of the roster, they can just add him to IR and bring him back during the year. If they add him before, if they do it before, he can't come back during the year. Another thing, tight ends, okay? Jacob Harris is fine. They're basically using him to try to get him comfortable, but they're also kind of non-committal in the way they want to use him. That's why he wasn't in the entire game. Kendall Bland was playing for his life tonight, and I think there were times where, he showed you what he could do, but he also had a really bad drop That was a first down that I think they ended up punting on that drive. So that should have been an easy catch. He did drop that. He caught a touchdown last week. He's shown different, flashes of what he can do. I still think he's a practice squad guy. I still think he's a guy that will fall through the cracks. The Rams can easily add him to the practice squad. UDFA out of Missouri. Then you have to look at Brycen Hopkins. This is very intriguing to me. Brycen Hopkins is not getting cut, folks. If he does, I'll be shocked. Because the first 2 plays of the game, they went at him. He broke 3 tackles, had a first down, had another nice catch. That was his day. He was done. We pretty much saw Blanton the rest of the way. To me, that tells me that they wanted to give him some more reps, but this guy's dominated the reps throughout of all of preseason. I thought he had a good preseason. Brycen Hopkins is safe. He's a long-term guy. They're trying to build him as an inline tight end and replace Tyler Higbee, I think, over time. They want Jacob Harris to be like the Darren Waller, so to speak. I think they're going to work in tandem. Don't forget, Brycen Hopkins didn't have a preseason last year. So I'm not ruling him out. I think he makes the roster. Obviously, we know they caught Kyle Markway earlier in the week, so he's gone. So that is the tight end spot. Then you look at the offensive line. I always say I have to go back and watch the film when it comes to offensive line. I don't want to be way too committal on certain guys. But Bobby Evans, man, that penalty in the heat of the moment, keep this in mind. If the clock is running, that is the ball game. They don't get another snap because of the 10-second runoff that would have happened. That will get you cut. So the fact that he got lucky on his false start with, it was somehow the clock was stopped. He got lucky there wasn't a 10-second runoff, because if it was running, there would have been a 10-second runoff, and that would have been the game, and they would have had no opportunity to have the 2 plays after that they did. So keep that in mind. Evans, I thought, didn't really look that great, and then I saw him at right tackle. I thought he played a little bit better. Maybe he is a tackle. At guard, it's just he's not it. Tremaine Ankrum, I thought, did a nice job against Von Miller. There are people already posting on Twitter. I got tagged in one of them. Basically, hey, look at this. The play, you guys know what I'm talking about when Von Miller basically ate him alive. But 1, Von Miller's one of the best pass rushers in football. And 2, we don't get to see the plays in between those. We live in the 2-second soundbite, the 2-second clip social media era. We don't give credit to guys like Ankrum that had the consistency against Von Miller before that play. So I'd say Ankrum was actually pretty good. And I have to go back and watch the film, of course, when it comes to all 22. But I thought Ankrum looked good. I thought Evans looked good at tackle, but really struggled at guard. And I think the Rams want him at guard, but maybe tackle, kind of throwing him in there, was either giving him one last opportunity as a Ram, or 2, it was giving him an opportunity to kind of show them what they can do, and maybe okay, he can still play tackle, we'll keep him. It was kind of the last-ditch effort. All in all, I didn't think the offensive line was great. Didn't really bail out Bryce Perkins a ton. There were times where they had some good push. I do think Alaric Jackson, struggled. To me, he's going to be a practice squad candidate if he doesn't get picked up. I don't think he'll get picked up. I didn't see a ton of Chandler Brewer. I might just have been going crazy. Coleman Shelton got bent over backwards. I was a little worried because it looked like his legs snapped, but he ended up being okay. Did see Jordan Meredith in there, but it's hard with the offensive line, so I can't say for sure. And I just, I think at the end of the day, the offensive line I don't think was great by any stretch. So when you're evaluating Perkins, you have to keep in mind he's having to play the way a quarterback would with a horrible offensive line. The defensive line, okay? Marquise Copeland had some plays that definitely stood out. Michael Hoyt, who might make this team, Jordan Rodriguez hasn't making the 53. He definitely did a nice job. I thought he, really did a nice job getting to the quarterback, forcing a strip sack at the end of the, first half to give the Rams an opportunity to potentially score a touchdown right before the half. The Rams called 2 timeouts. Great game management to try to get the ball back as soon as they could on the Drew Lock drive. They forced a fumble on Drew Lock, and that was huge. So Michael Hoyt does get credit for that. I had Jonah Williams with a pressure. I had Terrell Lewis with multiple pressures. He lived in the backfield. You have to feel good, about Terrell Lewis. As long as he stays healthy, the sky's truly the limit with him. He's got great size, speed, combination, power, can really do it all. And they were holding him, man. That's going to get called, probably during the season. But Terrell Lewis, I thought, definitely stood out. Chris Garrett had a nice stunt. that actually ended up being a sack miss, though, because he wrapped up Locke. Locke stayed on his feet. I call it, leave it up to dumb luck. I thought he did a nice job of wrapping him up. Unfortunately, Locke kind of landed on his body awkwardly, and so he was able to keep going and running. Not everybody does that, and so unfortunately, he didn't get the sack there. But Chris Garrett, I had 2 or 3 pressures in this game for him. I thought he did a nice job. Not the game he had last week, but this week I thought he did a nice job, albeit. And then, of course, John Daka at the end of the game. He's probably not going to make the team. James Madison, a guy that the Rams claimed off waivers. But the waiver claims are interesting with the Rams because they don't just claim guys and just cut them. It's really interesting with him because they also claimed Matt Orzek, who ended up beating out Steven Wirtel for the long snapper spot. I understand it's long snapper, but it is interesting they got him from Tennessee. Daka was released early on in camp, mini camp, I believe, by the Jets. Rams scooped him up from James Madison. I thought he made a really nice surge at the end of this, showed his ability to set the edge, get to the outside, use that speed, use that athleticism, make the tackles he needed to make. And then, of course, getting involved in the run game, stopping, against the, in the backfield, so to speak. So I thought he played pretty well. Nice to see Eric Banks with some edge snaps. I don't think they were the best, but I like seeing him as a stand-up pass rusher. I think he's probably a practice squad candidate. He did make the roster last year, but didn't really play. And then Ernest Brown, the rookie, the 5th rounder, was also being used, off the edge as well. So I definitely liked seeing that. I thought he had a really nice hurry, actually changed the trajectory of the pass. Should have been picked off if, one of the corners was paying attention. It probably would have been. But it was a nice play by Ernest Brown. He was a free runner on that. So, he's had a couple of those. Ernest Brown kind of flashing a little bit. He jumps off the page, athleticism-wise. Justin Lawler early on in the game had a nice pressure and probably should have had a sack. Just missed it there. Then the inside linebackers, I thought you saw some good things. Kaiser forcing the incompletion. You had a really nice play where Ernest Jones, I have not done that yet, finally just did it. Ernest Jones came up and, met the man right in the backfield. It was a great tackle. I believe it was on Royce Freeman, and he just came in like a bat out of hell. Love to see that. Christian Roseboom had a big game today, and I don't know if that actually matters at the end of the day because he's already shown so much, and we've heard so much about Roseboom in camp going back to last season. But the former South Dakota State UDFA is somebody that has shown up on tape, and in this game, downing a ball at the 1-yard line on the return team, and then finally, what he was able to do. Snapping up that interception was huge, albeit I think it was batted by either Terrell Lewis or Chris Garrett. I didn't quite see who batted it away, but it was a tipped pass, but he dove and, picked that pass off, and that was big. You got to make the most of your opportunities, so I think he had a good game. Today, didn't really see a ton of Traven Howard, but he did have a few missed tackles from what I saw. That's from what I saw, maybe, 32, 30, could have been somebody else, but that's what I saw, so to speak. Corners, again, pretty quiet. They picked on Bronte Harris. Harris had a PI called on him, so didn't see a ton to like in the corners, but I also didn't see a ton to dislike. I didn't really see anybody get totally beat except for Bronte, but Bronte's actually had a solid preseason, so I can't hate on him too much. You did have the Kareem Orr, hands to the face call. That's something there. Looking at everything I just said, basically, I don't think Daka's going to make the roster. Hoyt might make the roster. I feel good when Jordan Rodriguez saying it. I like Jonah Williams. I don't think he's going to make it, although I really do like him. Eric Banks, I think, will be a practice squad candidate. As far as the outside linebackers, they're all going to make it except for Daka, in my opinion. The inside linebackers going to get a little hairy here. I do have Kaiser getting cut. I don't think Kaiser's going to make the 53. It's just too hard at this point to keep everybody. I do think they'll end up keeping... Even though he didn't have the best day, I do think they'll end up keeping Traven Howard. I think he offers more in not only coverage, but, the sideline-to-sideline athleticism that they've been, just kind of dying to have. So I do think he'll end up getting in there. Of course, Ernest Jones is going to make the team. Jake Gervais is a guy that they'll probably want back next year in camp to see if they can truly develop him. Obviously, have him on the practice squad, develop him as a linebacker. He's a former safety out of Iowa. So that's another guy. And then Roseboom is going to make it very interesting here. I think they're more likely to keep Roseboom than they are Kaiser, to be honest with you. So it's definitely an intriguing thing. I don't know for sure how they're going to do it. I thought, Dion... I see Sutton toasted Dion. I don't think Dion played all that well, and I think him playing kind of opened the door for him getting cut, because if he didn't play in this game, I would have said he was a lock, but him playing in this game and David Long not. David Long clearly won that cornerback 3 job. We will see. Rochelle played a little bit, didn't see a ton to dislike or like, just, didn't really see a ton. It's hard to evaluate corners. You only get to see those big plays, right? That's only, that from that side anyway, you're not really able to see a ton. So it is always very hard to do that live. As far as the safeties, Juju Hughes making some nice hits on the ball carriers. And of course, the only pass breakup of the game, very impressive pass breakup, came against Teddy Bridgewater in the ones. So it was a nice pass breakup there. You almost had the forced fumble by J.R. Reed, who, him and Juju Hughes blew up, the preseason. I thought they did an outstanding job. And I know Juju Hughes started, or rather was in there longer than J.R. Reed, but I have J.R. Reed making the team. The familiarity with Joe DeCamillis, who, he actually played for, and, he was coached by at Jacksonville during the training camp last year, spending a training camp with him. McVay loves him, raves about him, and on top of that, you look at what J.R. Reed can do not only on defense but on special teams. He's a guy that's going to stick around, I think. You can make the argument, Terrell Burgess was out there. He's fine. He's not going anywhere. Keep in mind, didn't get a preseason last year and is coming off an injury, so they wanted to get him some reps, just like Terrell Lewis. But Burgess, Rapp, Fuller, and Scott, with the recent injury, have all been hurt fairly recently and have missed time. So I think it makes a lot of sense to have a 5th safety kept, and I think if that 5th safety is kept, it's going to be J.R. Reed. I think ultimately you want to keep Juju Hughes, but you have to prepare for the worst. I think they're going to lose him when they cut him, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to make it through waivers. So we'll see how that works. That's going to do it for that side of the ball as far as the special teams. Orzek won the long snapper role. The kicker role, of course, in my opinion, Matt Gay is going to be one of the best kickers in football this year. You saw the 54-yarder, got a lot of confidence there. He was good with Tampa. I don't know why they got rid of him, but he also, paid them back when he helped beat them with the Rams in his first game. And then the punter spot. Is it Hecker? Is it Boho? I'm going with Boho here. I'm going to stick by this. I love Hecker, but Boho is going to win that job. I think Boho is right now, he might be a better punter than Hecker. Hecker has fallen off the last 2 years. I love the guy. I appreciate what he's done. It sucks to lose a guy from St. Louis, the original St. Louis team. It's now down to Rob Havenstein and Aaron Donald, if that's the case. But unfortunately, this is a business. And if you look, Jerry Rice didn't only play for the 49ers. Isaac Bruce didn't only play for the Rams. Torrey Holt didn't only play for the Rams. It's tough. I mean, to be a guy like Jackie Slater, play his entire career for the Rams, or a Jack Youngblood, it is rare. It does not happen often. And so, unfortunately, I do think Johnny Hecker's contract is just way too high to justify paying him over Bojorquez. And what's weird is that they signed Bojorquez, because that almost signaled that they had to make this move. And maybe this was kind of their nonchalant way of saying Hecker didn't really live up to the standards after being paid the last 2 years. I don't know, but I don't think the Hecker's going to be it. As far as the punt returner, and I do think they're going to trade Hecker to Dallas. I've been saying that for a long time. I do think that's going to happen. So I think they could get a 5th at maximum. As far as the kick returner and punt return go, I can't say with confidence it's going to be Jeremiah Haydell, but I can't also say it's not. He's the only one that returned kicks. So it's really intriguing to me that Haydell was still out there after Calais. He's the only one that's returned kicks for the Rams. I don't know if it's going to be like Deshaun Jackson or somebody, but that is something that's really intriguing to me, something that I wasn't expecting. And then on top of that, punt returner is going to be Tutu Atwell. By the way, if I'm putting a bow on preseason, Tutu Atwell is right up there for MVP of the preseason. This guy had the kitchen sink thrown at him. I mean, he was constantly I'm going to look right now. I'm going to look it up. So he had, 8 catches on 12 targets in this game. And then Tutu in the last game had 8 catches on 13 targets. And then the first game, I'm pretty sure Tutu had 8 catches in that as well. Yeah, so 8 catches, and let's see what he did in the first game. The first game he had 2 catches for 21 yards. Okay, so they used him a ton the last 2 games. He had 16 catches in the last 2 games. Tutu Atwell was being tested, okay? He's the second-round pick. He was out there in a meaningless preseason game. At the end of it, you got to get him reps, right? But he was out there at the end of this thing, played every single snap for the Rams tonight, and he was the go-to guy for Bryce Perkins. So Tutu Atwell has shown you he can be durable, okay? He's had some scares, injury scares, but think about durability, right? What do they talk about with one of those, those Rubbermaid like containers, right? They're durable. You can still use a Rubbermaid container that gets nicks. You can still use a Rubbermaid container that has a dent in it. You can't use one that snaps in half. So I have never seen a Rubbermaid container snap in half, so the durability is there. You can get hurt, you can't get injured. That is durability. So he has actually been pretty durable when you really think about it, because, yeah, he got hurt. Football is going to get you hurt, dude. If you're running full speed and someone shoves you into a bench on the sidelines, you're going to get hurt. Are you injured? That is the question. That is going to be what stands you out. Are you durable? Are you not? Can you play through injury? Can you not? And I feel like Tutu Atwell played through some, not really injury, but, he was hurt. And, obviously in this game he was fine, but, early on, the first game, the second game, I don't know. He's exciting. Jacob Harris, really hard because Harris is not being used fully. They're not fully, they're not exploring what Harris can do. Like they're very non-committal. They're walking a fine line, between getting him the opportunity that they want to give him, but at the same time, because he's a 4th-round pick, but at the same time, they don't want to tip their hand on how they're going to use him in the regular season. So it's tough. It's easier when you're going up against, a Raiders, a Broncos, a Chargers, because you're not playing those teams in the, you're not playing that division this year. But at the same time, other division teams, like, you don't think the Bears are going to look at that tape at like a little bit? You don't think they're going to go and be like, look up every single play Jacob Harris was used? It's not hard. It's really not that hard. Just go back and look how Jacob Harris was used. Go back and look at his tendencies. Be like, study that. Because they're going to use that against us, and we're not going to get beat by it. So that's kind of my argument there, is that it's not a guarantee that Harris truly struggled in this preseason, as much as it's not a guarantee that like the Rams just simply didn't know how to use him, because they know how to use him. They have a great plan for him, but they're non-committal in the fact it's like, I want to get this guy reps, but I don't want to tip our hand because he's going to be a significant part of the offense. So I think the takeaway here is that it's actually very interesting and it's very uplifting. If you're a Jacob Harris fan, because Jacob Harris, I think, is going to have a legit, I'm saying this, he's going to have a legit role this season. And he may have 300 yards, right? But if he has like 6 touchdowns and they all come in the red zone, that's a good season for him. You go back, you look at George Kittle. George Kittle didn't blow up the league. 5th-round pick out of Iowa. He didn't blow up the league his first year. Wasn't asked to. Didn't need to, right? His second year, he broke the record in receiving yards for a tight end. Not every tight end, because keep in mind, tight ends are different, okay? Jacob Harris was a soccer player. Yes, exactly. So Jacob Harris is a former soccer player. He's new to the sport. He showed off what he can do. He is a freak athlete. Furthermore, he's playing the position of tight end, okay? Now, he's not an inline tight end, and I don't know if he ever will be. But that doesn't mean he's not going through the same drills everyone else is in the tight end position. And as a rookie, that means you're playing 2 positions. You're playing wide receiver and you're playing basically an offensive lineman, because you have to block and you have to catch. So it's tough. And, you know, the bracket coverage I definitely think is going to be something that's used. But on top of that, you know, if they let him, you know, they let him flex out and they use Tyler Higbee and they, you know, get creative with Bryson Hopkins, they're going to get him looks. So, you know, the defense had a hell of a game, man. They held the Broncos. Keep in mind, for like 2 quarters almost 2 quarters of first-team offense versus second-team and third-team defense. And the Rams held them. This team only scored 17 points the whole game. Let's just take that into account. I mean, the leading passer was Drew Lock with 67 yards. He threw a touchdown, yes. So did Teddy Bridgewater. But, yeah, I mean, Brett Rippon, they absolutely torched. They held Demoria Crockett to 3.5 yards per carry. Melvin Gordon had 5 carries for 35 yards. So, like, you know, Melvin Gordon had a little bit of a day against them. Stevie Scott was held to 3.3. Royce Freeman on 5 carries went for 9 yards. They held him to 1.8. The leading receiver was Trinity Benson with 2 catches for 34 yards. And the offensive line, at times, they played pretty awful, but they gave up 2 sacks in total. 1 to Josie Jewell and a half to Ajim and Barrington Wade. I mean, I think the defense played really well, honestly. I'm really impressed. I'm really, really impressed with how deep this Rams defense is. I think it's gonna be a fun one. I really do. But yeah, I mean that's all I can say for now. I mean, I just, you know, I feel pretty good. I mean, obviously 0-3 is, you know, it sucks, but it doesn't suck that much, right? It's just preseason. I always say I never want to go 3-0 in preseason, and the Broncos just did that. We'll see how that team does. But, yeah, I mean, it's not anything against the Broncos. I don't think they're a bad team. I think the Rams' defense came to play, you know, and I think it's definitely – I don't know why people are doubting Morris. I mean, this defense has looked good. Okay, so during this time, this defense, the Rams' defense as a whole, right, you know, they albeit they've had some guys that have starting experience rotating in and out. So their defense – this whole time has given up, wait for it, 47 points in 3 games. So 13 in the first game, 17 in the second game, 17 in the third game. If that happened in the real season, you'd take that every time. Are you kidding me? That's a good defense. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I appreciate you guys. We got to 1,500 views on this one. Really do appreciate your participation in this. It's been a lot of fun. It was really irritating because, you know, I think we really killed it, and, you know, I had to stretch over all these different parts, so to speak. Probably going to delete part 3, if I'm being honest. I'm going to check how long it lasted, but I really don't think it was that long. Part 3 was 227. Yeah, I'm getting rid of that. So I'm going to call this part 3. I'm going to delete part 3 because, you know, it's just, there's hardly any content. I don't want to, the algorithm is going to hate that. So I'm going to delete part 3. And then I'm going to rename this part 3 and probably call it a night. So Yeah, Long didn't play at all, so he's I think he's a lock. Yeah. Thanks, CJ. Appreciate you. You know, I really do enjoy it. I could not wait. It was starting off like last game, right? I was like, oh my God. But it was really bad this time because my connection, you know, having to do that piece of dust was pissing me off. Having to do the stream while streaming the game on another platform, you know, if it's just on TV, it's not taking up any of my connection. It's not taking up any bandwidth. But once it starts, you know, starts showing up on here, then it starts taking it away. So it was a pain. Started out with only 7 viewers. It didn't save any of my tags, so it didn't go out to YouTube. And then got that up a little bit. And then the second one was a huge success. We got close to 5,000 views on that. And then had to bring that down. And then the third was just a joke. It like totally crashed after like 2 minutes. And then this one, which we got up to over 100 concurrent viewers, which is really awesome. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, if you like this, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Really do appreciate it. You will not make me a Clippers fan. There's no way. I hate that team. Didn't catch all of your post-game analysis, but do you see Kareem Orr making the team? I like Kareem Orr, but I don't see him making the team, no. Maybe a practice squad, but we'll see. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate that. You guys, if you want to follow me, have any DMs that you want to send my way, any questions, anything like that, you can follow me over on Twitter at JKBogan, my official account. And also, just a heads up, if you guys are trying to become content creators, anyone out there is trying to get started, get their thing off the ground, I am going to be dropping a course. It's a $15 course. I'm going to be dropping my $15 course September 27th. You can actually pre-order that at Gumroad, and I will give you guys the link on that. But yeah, I'm going to be coming out with my content creator course. Just kind of giving you my process on how I do it, and you know, different tips and things like that. So if you're interested in that, I'm making it a full-on, like, it's going to have a bunch of modules. I just finished my first module. It has 40 pages on it. So I'm going all out for this. So if anyone's interested, it's $15. I have one pre-order. I just put it out, I think, yesterday. So it could be pre-ordered right now for $15. I'll post it, you know, in the comment section if anyone's interested. I know we had some interest last time. So if anyone, you know, basically is just anybody, it's for anybody that literally is trying to start, like, get something off the ground, like they already have it, or they've never tried it before, and maybe you're just interested in trying, like, my video process and see how it works out. In that, I'm going to have all sorts of stuff, basically hints on, or not hints, I don't like hints, I don't like the name of that, tips on what I do. I'm going to literally go step by step through my video process, how I create each video, the different, you know, things I use and things like that, tools. I'm also going to have an equipment guide, which allows you to kind of see through the tiers of all of the microphones, the cameras, things that the expensive stuff, the inexpensive stuff, the stuff on a budget. You can create a YouTube account by just using your camera on your phone. So basically, if you're looking for a sign to start, and you really want to start your own YouTube channel, but you keep just pushing it off, this is that sign. And if you want, I can help you out with my course that is coming out September 27th on Gumroad, $15 pre-order. It's going to have that. It's going to have Twitter guides, how I grew on Twitter. I'm over 8,000 followers on Twitter. If you want to find out how I did that, if you want to find out different tips and tools that you can use to get to that. And by the way, I got to tell you, it's not buying followers because people like doing that, and that does not get you anywhere. You have to do it the right way. I can teach you that as well. I'm here to help. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can always DM me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to gameplay do the gameplay stream at some point soon. I'm just pretty dead lately. A lot, busy doing the core stuff. Like I said, I'm building that thing from scratch. I want to make sure I cover all the bases and help out anyone that needs it. Again, you can find that. The link is up there. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about it before I head off, if anyone has any questions about that course at all, let me know. It's not, on the phone. I'm not calling you. We don't have to be on Zoom. It all can be done on your time. I'm going to be writing everything out. I'll have videos. It'll be great. All the files are going to be right in the course on Gumroad. So my Madden gameplay is terrible, okay? I told you I'm not very good at it. No, it's not. It's not at all. CJ, I'm not really into skateboarding, but that's pretty cool, I've never really gotten into it, though. It's not really my thing, but I respect people that can do it. I sure as hell can't. Oh, good question. So, Trevor, it's for both. I forgot to mention that. So, bonus guide in my course is actually a live streaming guide. I'll take you through my process on what I use, how I use it, how I set up different things. I'm literally going to go through all of my setup, and that'll be in there as well. That's a bonus. I could probably retail it like $60, to be honest with you, just with everything I'm going to put in there because I don't want to skimp on it. But it's going to be $15 right now if you pre-order. Once it drops on the 27th, I'll kick it up to $20, but $15, pre-order, early bird bonus type of deal is pretty much where I wanted to go with that. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, I'm excited about the course. I've never done anything like it. And I'm going step by step through it. I want to make sure it's as good as it can be. And so yeah. If anyone's any other questions about the course, let me know. Ow. If not, I will bounce. Yeah, I'd obviously, Trevor, if you pre-order that thing, it'll show up on the 27th. It'll drop, and you'll have everything there. I would drop it right now, but I'm working on it, and I want to take time to make sure it's right. I'm going to have it proofread and everything. I want it done the right way. I want to make sure it's easy to follow. I want to make sure it's going to actually be worth your money. So I'm going to make sure it is worth your money, and that's why I got to take that time. But it's going to launch September 27th. So, a month and what? Not even a month. Just under a month. So I'm excited. And tell your friends, too. Oh, it's also, forgot to mention, so while it's going to have guides on equipment and what I use, so it's always going to have my stuff on what I use, but then I'm going to explain my process and other stuff that maybe I don't use that could benefit you if you're on a budget. But then it's also going to have not just my process on how I build a video, how I create it, what I do. It's going to have a faceless guide as well. So you don't have to use a camera. Okay? Some of the best YouTubers, people that I follow all the time, especially for MCU content, Emergency Awesome and Everything Always, those two guys, and I think the Cosmic Wonder as well, they don't use a camera. Very rarely do they use a camera, if ever. They're a faceless channel, and they grow. You can grow. You don't have, if that's what's stopping you, it shouldn't be what's stopping you. Just make a slideshow and talk over it. If your content's good enough, you can do it. So I'm going to go over that. I'm also going to show you the ins and outs of YouTube as well, what I've learned. Like tags, what tags you want to use, what you don't want to use. Certain tools that I use to see, different videos that might hit, might not. Success rate, SEO rate, all of that. If you're interested in that, be sure to click the link. I'll drop it again just for the hell of it. September 27th is right, Nolan. It's exactly when it is going to drop. I'm very excited. I've never done anything like this, but I'm a big fan of doing things I've never done before, so this is very new to me. But yeah, if that's it, that's gonna be it. So again, you can follow me, JK Bogan, on Twitter. I'm happy to answer any questions further on the course. Anything at all, you can reach me out. But that's gonna do it for me. You guys take care, and God, you owe me so much money for it, but maybe have one of these. They're pretty awesome. So thank you, and you guys take care. Bye-bye.